London, David and Dickens. It sounds like a novel or
For a
something,
double
right?
act, Dev.
Is it the title of a book?
Thanks, Dev. My name's Dickon Laws. I'm Global Head of Innovation for Ogilvy. Bedded in Ogilvy Experience in London, but obviously my role is global. You're going to hear from me and David over the course of the next kind of 40 minutes. Although Dev's highlighted the importance of AI as a kind of a disruptive creative force in our world, I'm going to start by talking a little bit about reality, which is a house for everything that we're doing around emerging experiences, of which AI is such a crucial, important part. So I'm going to give you a bit of précis that understands a little bit about the role that AI plays within reality, and then David's going to do a really amazing deep dive. I'm kind of just the warm-up act for David, to be perfectly honest, but David will do a brilliant job in a minute of taking you through some of the details. So this is David, this is myself. So there are 4 quick things we're going to talk to you about today, like what's reality and why now as an emerging experience capability within the business. What does it do and how does it support what Dev's just outlined in terms of hustling and creating kind of differentiation for ourselves, what we do within the network. David's going to talk a lot about the amazing art of generative AI, and then we're going to talk about how you engage that capability within the network as well. So why reality and right now? So we're going to get to AI in a minute, but I just wanted to give you like an overview of how reality behaves within the business and actually why we're here in the first place. So as Des pointed out, we have the accolade now of one of the most innovative businesses in the world, right? On that Fast Company list, the only other kind of people that were close to us were WPP themselves, right? Ogilvy was the only WPP agency on that list. So testament, as as Dev said, to all the entrepreneurs, all the technologists, all the innovators and the strategists and the delivery folks that we work with around the world. And it's important to make sure that we are talking about reality and AI now, but we are no strangers to emerging technologies, right, as Ogilvy. Some of our greatest moments across the last maybe even 20 years and beyond that have been driven by emerging and creative technologies. You've got the Shah Rukh Khan work with AI, the Pets work from South America, David's work with the Milkmaid that many of you have seen for Lafayette, the Greenpeace work out of Poland a couple of years back now, and then all the way back to our British Airways days, and we did the magic of flying. Creative technology is something that we are really good at, but the world is changing and the world is becoming more and more fragmented. Technology is being much more disrupted. The pace of change is picking up on a daily basis. So while that's our history, we need to recognize that actually our role, and we're at our best when we are the most disruptive and the most bravest with our clients. And that pulse of disruption that we feed off is growing quicker and quicker as the days goes by. So I want to just spend a minute talking about kind of where the world has been and actually where we've been over the last 18 months and why reality has been created and why we need to harness the sort of work that we're doing with David and with AI, but with some other technologies that exist in the marketplace at the same time. So Dev said a minute ago she hadn't heard the word NFTs for a while, so I thought it was appropriate just to bring it up. Like 18 months ago, everybody was talking about NFTs, right? The world was awash with them for the good and bad reasons. People were buying up things in a sandbox. Dev also talked about the fact metaverse is no longer the thing. We have moved on from that. People were buying up land in the sandbox 12 months ago for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and brands were being encouraged to do that, and it wasn't really going anywhere. And that has been the same for other experiences as well. So coming out of lockdown, pandemic changed, everybody was talking about the metaverse, everybody wanted to be gathering together in digital environments, lots of spaces, lots of brands were choosing, for fear of missing out or FOMO, to rush towards the metaverse and really think about how they can be in these places probably before most of their customers and consumers are. And that was okay. And just going to wait for my slide to catch up. So that all great, right? Metaverse, NFTs, the look after 18 months, that's great. But what we need to learn is something quite tragic happened afterwards, right? This whole thing blew up in the world's face. So this is, for those that don't know it, this is Jack Dorsey when he first did his first tweet. He sold it as an NFT online, right? And I think originally when he sold it as NFT, it sold for something like $2.5 million. The guy who bought it then went on to try and sell it for $48 million. But the moment had moved on. We are moved on from NFTs. The total amount he got bid for this NFT was just $280, like a 99% drop in valuation. And again, we're kind of moving forward again through time, as Dev pointed out. Mark Zuckerberg is canning the metaverse, even though he's rebranded his entire company after it. You know, we've got Disney announcing yesterday that they are laying off their metaverse capability as well. The metaverse is clearly not had its day, that we've moved on from it. So much so that the inventor of the VR headset, which is synonymous with the metaverse, has created this headset, which I think is a spoof, right? It's actually designed that when you die in the metaverse, you die in real life. This weird explosive capsules that penetrate your head should you die. So clearly, the love is falling out of lead with the metaverse. But what we need to learn from this is the rate of adoption and the rate of interest that brands have with all these spaces is a bit of a risk warning and a cautionary tale for us. And we need to be with our clients to help manage the way these hype cycles work, and which is really the role of reality within the network. We've got this paradox which says we've never adopted technology this fast before, and we'll never adopt technology this slowly before. And if you look at the rate of change of all these amazing technologies, you can see how quickly it's evolved and adapted. And as David's going to talk about, nothing has picked up speed and engaged consumers quicker than AI over the last 6 months. ChatGPT sets the record for the fastest user base growth ever of any technology, and that is still speeding up, right? That is still going. Now, most of the reason these innovations and these experiences, whether it be metaverse or NFTs or anything else, fail is because what we call having a really poor product market fit, right? People rush towards these hype things. They think they're going for a gold mine. They end up more in a minefield. And one of the fundamental reasons for this poor product market fit is that culture, strategy, and technology are very often not aligned. And what do we mean by that? Well, our job at Reality is to kind of work out how we align those things, right? From a cultural perspective, is the audience ready for it, or is it too early? Is it strategically on brand for the brand, for our clients, or have they just got FOMO and don't want to be left behind, so they're rushing towards something? And is the technology interesting enough, as we've demonstrated time and again, for it to create extraordinary work? And that's kind of what Reality is set up to do. So role of Reality in the network, I'm going to be really quick around this. I wanted David enough time to talk about his content. So we found over the last 18 months that a lot of clients have come to us and basically been asking Ogilvy, like, what the hell does all this stuff mean, right? These acronyms that dominate emerging technologies and creative technologies may as well have been written in computer code. Like, most of you can probably tell me what AR and VR is and all these other acronyms. But for most clients, it's completely different. Most clients actually think this way. I don't know what the bleep, it's a global course, and I'm not actually going to say that last word, but that's the problem we've been facing. We need to react to our clients' appetite and understanding and educate them. So Reality's job is to do three things. It's translate that nonsense and technobabble into active opportunities for them to grow, to pathfind their way through those innovation minefields, and to really get to a place where we can help them encourage a risky, brave behavior, but at the same time, not make them step on any of those mines. And obviously, our appetite for risk, we're an innovation team, we can understand where to go and where not to go. So we've been asked lots of different questions over the last 16 months since we started thinking about reality being a thing. Lots of questions that are strategically important around AI, around AR, around the metaverse, and all sorts of different inquiries have come in. Now, what we tend to do at Reality is we think in three different lenses. We don't start with technology, but for the purposes of today, I'm going to explain that Reality thinks about three different subject matters at the moment. We will move on from this when the next emerging experience emerges over the horizon, but right now our focus is on AR, Web3, and AI. Now, for most of you out there, you can't really start a conversation with a client around these three things because it feels like you're being technologically led. So what we do is we actually decipher those things into strategies that help a client understand or a brand understand the direction of travel for this technology. So for AR, we talk about cameras and camera strategy and camera commerce and the relationship between consumer and brands that is delivered through the camera and how that can lead into AR. We don't talk about Web3, we talk about culture and how specifically Gen Z are much more interested in peer-to-peer and trustless experiences. We don't talk about AI specifically, we talk about the power of creativity and how it can be supercharged by AI. And David's going to talk a lot about that. And ultimately, we don't talk necessarily about any of this stuff till we have a really firm understanding of the direction of travel for our audiences and the cultures they operate in, which for forward-thinking organizations like ourselves isn't just about Gen Z and Gen A, but we need to be aware that they are about to inherit the earth. So we need to be cognizant of exactly where they are and what they're doing. Reality is working across particularly AR and Web3 with a number of different clients, with Halion for Ogilvy Health. We just won a massive engagement with the Olympics and Samsung out of the UK, working on how we engage Gen Z with Web3. That's not supposed to rhyme, but it does. Working with EY on AI and analyzing consumer behavior. Estee Lauder for camera commerce. The Public Investment Front in Saudi Arabia about overall employee experience strategies using emerging technologies. And then the wonderful work we did for Nokia, driving disruption and invitation to their rebranding that's happened recently. When you see the deck afterwards, you'll be able to scan that QR code and see a hologram of their CEO pop up on your desktop, inviting you to Mobile World Congress, where the rebrand happened. So we are here to talk about AI. So I am actually going to hand over to David. What I wanted to do is set the context behind why reality is operating within the business. But obviously, one of our most important aspects of what we do is to bring the A and the I out of that and really understand how it's going to disrupt and transform us and empower our creative function. So enough from me. Over to you, David.
Thanks. Hi, everyone. Let's talk about generative AI. So David, I'm a ECD in Paris, and also I am an AI artist. And 1 year ago, I was really discovering generative AI. It was like, it is the birthday of DALL-E. Yesterday, I was making a party with my friend of OpenAI. We made the 1 year birth of DALL-E. So I mean, the things were changing so fast in this industry. It's crazy. It's an exponential acceleration. And 1 year after, I can say, guys, you will see all the potential and something really will change the way how we work. So first of all, the first question is really about what is generative AI? If you ask about the definition of generative AI, you can have a lot of definition, but let's make something a little bit accurate. So I will have somebody that will give you the definition of generative AI, which is David Ogilvy himself. I asked him to give you the definition, and you will see it's not so complicated.
I wish I could be with you today, but this is the AI recreation of Mr. David Ogilvy speaking, and I want to introduce you to generative artificial intelligence. Generative AI refers to a class of artificial intelligence models and algorithms that are designed to generate new content or output that is similar to what a human might create. Generative AI models are typically based on neural networks that are trained on large amounts of data to learn patterns and structures in that data. Once the model has been trained, it can be used to generate new content that is similar in style, format, or content to the original data. This type of AI is particularly useful in applications such as writing, image creation, video, and even music composition.
So I think you get it, thanks to this clear explanation. Even to do that, I use generative AI to recreate the voice of David Ogilvy. And as you can see, yes, generative AI is doing all the stuff we used to love, which is from music, text, which is image and video. But these have a lot of implication because generative AI is really today something that make a lot of questions. The first thing is about the legal issues. I think you all are aware today about something happening like 6 months ago. People say the database of the image where we trained Midjourney, DALL-E, or Stable Diffusion, if you know these names, is a database with copyrighted image. and artists are complaining about that, which is fair. And even Getty is making now a trial to and is in legal pursuit for Getty is making a legal pursuit for stable diffusion. And all these things are moving very fast. I mean, you will see in a few seconds some amazing solution now, totally legal, are already there. The second thing on that is really about the fact that, yes, we have a lot of questions about jobs destruction and reinvention. Things about people that are making the voice over. Things about the illustrators. Think about people that are using and working on the film industry. All these jobs are really today need to be reinvented. And I believe it will have a lot of destruction, but also a lot of reinvention of job. And all the things we can say, it will be a fair balance. I mean, a lot of job destroyed will be reinvented, but in a new way that leverage generative AI. The third, this is something you can have, you can scan it with your mobile. I like to give you some resources. You can have this very interesting foresight or forecast from Sequoia Capital that explain how this will evolve in the next couple of years until 2030. And I think what they are writing here is quite interesting, from social media to gaming. And I will show you already all the progress made in this area. The third part is ethics. I think last week, and you probably have seen a lot of questions about the new capabilities of Midjourney V5, and a lot of pictures with Donald Trump arrested by policemen are making, or the Pope with a Balenciaga jacket are everywhere in the web. And the question of deepfake and misinformation is really important today. Yes, I use deepfake to make David Ogilvy speaking as an introduction, but trust me, guys, we really need to take care to that, because we have a social contract with all people we expose to the content. We need to be clear. We need to be one of the most, I will say, ethical company today, to show and to explain all the dangers about using in a bad way generative artificial intelligence. A lot of things happen today, like having a label explaining that this is not a real content, this is generative AI, but in the future, laws will act, but also I believe we can take over on that, and we can also create a lot of good creative work that can leverage this tension, because it's a worldwide tension today, and maybe do some great job on that. Then we have also a new kind of art that is today there. This is very important. A guy from the Atlantic wrote that we probably are witnessing a new form of art in the world that is generative AI. And I was one of the first to believe on that. This is why I make one of the first exhibition in Paris with generative artificial intelligence. And I think we are just at the beginning. And all the form of art we know today will be impacted by that. And last but not least, again, I believe, and this is something you see and you feel, this is much more than a technological revolution. This is something that will impact the culture and will change the way how we create, how we express ourselves. And this is something as big as internet was 30 years ago. So I will say welcome in a new era, and let's see together what are impacted today. The first thing that is impacted is, yes, image editing. And the good news, guys, if you are a creative and you have the Adobe suite, Creative Suite, if you log in with your WPP account, you will access to that. What is that? This is the Adobe Firefly, which is the generative artificial intelligence from Adobe, and it's trained on 100% legal database because it's trained on Adobe stock photo. They own the right on that, so all the material is legal, and this is what they did. I think you get it. This is very strong, and again, I think everyone on Ogilvy in the network can access to the beta version of Firefly. So please, guys, don't hesitate. And this is all my speech. You need to be empowered by generative AI. You need to master that. The second thing that is impacted is comics and illustration. Probably this is the first one, the first comic done. It was in June 2022. So it's almost like 10 months ago. And yes, illustration is changing. I believe that in the very close future, illustrators will find a business model like training their own AI and can have license to allow people to use their own style. I believe it's going to happen, and this is something fair for them. I think we, as a creative company, we need to protect artists. So this is the first industry that was totally impacted, illustration. The other industry is fashion. As I explained, all the tailor-made stuff can be done. So as I explained, as the possibilities are totally infinite, we can imagine to make tailor-made fashion, suit, wear, whatever you want in the future. And you can imagine to have tailor-made e-commerce and propose a lot of designs that suit to your taste. So again, the fashion industry is already impacted by that. More than that, we have also what I call the product design industry. In the future, and this is already happening, we can really
let's design a sneaker in Figma. Let's draw some shapes, drop a gradient, drag some boxes, add a touch of details here and there. It's all nice and simple. But wouldn't it be nicer if you can just type some words to describe your design, like the material, the designer, the production setting, and hit render to get a realistic depiction of your sketch? Then you can change the prompt and hit that button a few more times to explore different variations of styles. You can also go back to your original sketch, make some edits, and hit render. Wait, what? Okay, sometimes it takes a few tries for the AI to understand your prompt. Let's try again. Okay, much better. One more time.
So you get it. And architecture the same. This is impacted by generative AI. As you can see, we have a lot of possibilities that even architects were not able to think before. So they can use it and leverage generative artificial intelligence to think about new possibilities, new way to build architecture. And on stock image, as I was explaining, this is great example. This is, for example, in Paris, how we work. We used to work with Accor. We did a lot of job with DALI. And all these images you see here are totally done with generative AI, because on all their going stuff they are doing, like newsletter, website, social, etc., they ask a lot of things. Like, as you can see here, the cocktail are totally generated with a recipe. I mean, they ask us, for example, for Middle East to don't have any kind of, yes, we have beta access to Firefly. I see somebody asking for that. Yes, it should work. So to the recipe, for example, we know that Middle East, you don't allow to have alcohol. And for example, here we just type the recipe, like having some orange, mint, etc. So we create the recipe and allow us to have the good cocktail vision asked for by the client. So this is good example. And Shutterstock and OpenAI are today making an official 100% legal offer, which is having the possibility to generate image that you can use in your creation, in your work, and that will be totally okay in terms of legal issues, because it's Shutterstock. Again, typography, lot of things can be done. You will see Firefly from Adobe allow us to make a lot of things on font type and typography. So it's so great. And also on photography, as I explained today, you can imagine to train an generative artificial intelligence with your own photography and create your own genre. And this is what I did. I trained like 3,000 images of Paris on the metro area of Paris, and I create my unique genre of image. So this is again stuff I did in France. I did the cover of a magazine with generative AI. So this model does not exist. It's just for luxury. I create it. This is again pictures I did for my exhibition, trained on a Paris picture I did. So this is example of how really we can create before Midjourney V5 exists. I was doing that like 4 months ago. So as you can see, all the photography industry can now be changing, because you can extend what you cannot do with photography today. You can go and create something totally new. And this is where I think this is interesting, to go beyond art. So again, this is just a sample of picture I'm doing, and you have my Instagram. I like to do that to have more followers. So guys, if you want, you can join. You have the QR code there. To continue, just because this is not just about image, we have something a lot that changed the things, which is ControlNet, which is still the way how we can make image much more accurate. I mean, this image was done with the guys that invent ControlNet. ControlNet, guys, it's not the destruction of the universe. It's not Skynet. ControlNet is the first generative artificial intelligence that allow you to have more control of what you are creating. So you can give an image at the beginning, and then the AI is creating on that. I give you example. This is an example I did for L'Oréal. On the left, this is a real shoot, a real photo shoot with a girl, and you can see the style of the girl. What I did, I used ControlNet to create and to scale this I will say e-commerce banner, and I scale it to Asia, to America, to other type of hair, and all the stuff is created through generative artificial intelligence. What is nice is, thanks to ControlNet, yes, I can make it in the same style and the same position as I had at the beginning. So you can imagine what does that implies in terms of photography and in terms of shooting and production. So an example of what we can creatively do with this kind of stuff is really thanks to ControlNet, you can give, I will say, flesh on existing logo. This is easy to do with ControlNet. So this is a lot of play we can do on a logo, and you can imagine how cool it can be and how fast and how creatively speaking you can do a lot of so nice things. The other industry impacted today is what we call the film and the video industry. A few months ago, Meta dropped the metaverse and say, let's go, guys, we need to invest in generative AI. So they release new text to video. I mean, you tap just a text and you generate a video, but it was like a dream because it was not accessible like 5 months ago. What's happened? Google did the same, saying, guys, we can do the same stuff, but another small company was doing something else, and I will explain. This is a last example of something that seems to be crazy, which is I have a script on the left, and on the right, I can almost visualize what's happened, and I can make a mock-up. I will say a quick mock-up instead of having a storyboard of the film I have on the left. So this is crazy. I think when you think about that, when you are creative, you said it's a dream, because I would love sometime to share with my client what is the intention of a film and make it very quickly. And even if I make tests, I would love to test something very quick and dirty like this. It's not the best quality now, but I can promise you, let's come back and discuss in 1 year. And I'm sure on Netflix, you will find the first generative artificial intelligence film, probably in less than 1 year. I'm sure about that. So this is done by Google team, this example. Now, what's happened is that all this filmmaking industry is changing. Just 1 month ago, Runway ML was launching something like
image generation models have taken the world by storm. It's now possible for anyone to turn their ideas into images using nothing but words. The explosion of creativity these models unleashed was years in the making. In 2021, Runway introduced latent diffusion, an AI system that was able to generate realistic images using an improved image generation technique. And in 2022, Stable Diffusion, a further improved version of latent diffusion that caused a tidal wave of creativity and mass adoption of the technology. Today, Runway is excited to introduce the next step forward in generative AI, Gen 1. A video generation AI system that can efficiently generate video in any style, all while retaining quality and flexibility. Gen 1 is able to realistically and consistently apply the composition and style of an image or text prompt to the target video, allowing you to generate new video content using an existing video. We call this approach video to video, and we're incredibly excited to share a few early use cases. Stylization mode. Transfer the style of any image or prompt to every frame of your video. Storyboard mode. Turn mockups into fully stylized and animated renders. Mask mode.
So guys, this is changing the way how we produce and how we think about the video production. But it was like released. The beta version was released 2 months ago. And the public version is now officially available on Runway ML. But these guys are continuing, and now since 1 week, a little bit more, they release Gen 2. Think just about the timing. 2 months ago, they are talking about Gen 1, and we are now 2 months after, and they are talking about Gen 2, which is much more powerful because it allows us to make...
Not too long ago, Runway pushed the boundaries of generative AI with Gen 1, a video-to-video model that allows you to use words and images to generate new videos out of existing ones. In the weeks since launching, the model has constantly gotten better. Better temporal consistency, better fidelity, better results. And as more and more people gained access, we unlocked entirely new use cases and displays of creativity. And today, we're excited to announce our biggest unlock yet, text to video with Gen 2. Now you can generate a video with nothing but words. no driving video, no input image. Gen 2 represents yet another major research milestone and another monumental step forward for generative AI. With Gen 2, anyone, anywhere can suddenly realize entire worlds, animations, stories, anything you can imagine. Gen 2, coming very soon to runwayml.com.
And yes, that will be amazing. And guys, I already have access to Gen 2 and it's amazing. I mean, who will be the agency that will create the first ad, the first piece of content with this kind of technology, with a rationale behind? I mean, it's just not for the sake of technology. We need to think about creatively about why we should do a first piece of work with Word to transform that into a film or a piece of content. So it's beyond just the fact that we will be the first. We need to think about how to use that in a creative way. So as you can see, it's crazy. It's crazy also about what we call the Nerf technology. Nerf is not just a gun to play. Nerf allows us to make a new way of filming. Instead of paying a 1 million budget film, you can use just your iPhone and do this kind of stuff. So quickly, this is a guy that is an AI director and is making this film with just an iPhone. Again, for production, guys, think about new ways to make crazy movement with motion, with cameras. This is a real promising stuff to create. On the audio part, yes, as you see as the opening, I train an AI with the voice of David Ogilvy. And today, training with a voice and recreate a voice is not become rocket science. And it works very well. So this is example of work done by the Google team. And I think this is really amazing. Look, on the left part, you have real voice. And on the right part, this is a voice generated by artificial intelligence.
Nay, nay, lording, answered Wolf. We know not how to call you lord or lady. We have lived too long in the forest, and are now...
Our first impressions of people are, in 9 cases out of 10, mere spectacle reflections of the actuality of things.
No
but
difference.
They are impressions of something different and more.
And it works also for music. So again, same thing, it works very well on audio, music. It works also on 3D. So this is example done by NVIDIA when you can generate 3D assets. So the demonstration is a little bit cheesy, guys, but I think you get it. You can really generate and create amazing stuff. One milestone, one breakthrough thing happened like I will say 2 weeks ago, which is the first video game that leverage something like ChatGPT into the game and allow you to interact with the characters and to have a real chat with them. Can you imagine if you are playing on GTA, the future of GTA? I mean, if you are a good gamer, you can imagine to talk and have a chat with somebody in the game, and it will really answer. There is no script already written. I give you an example. The game is called Origin, and this is crazy, and this changed the way how we can create games.
What do you know about the crime scene?
What are you doing here?
Is it dangerous here?
It's hard to say. We're still piecing together the evidence. From what we can tell, there was some sort of explosion in a robot lab.
Origins is inspired by a story world loosely based on the anime Metropolis from 2001. In this story, humans and robots coexist, although under a rather shaky social system.
Origins is a technical gameplay demo that takes place in the city of Metropolis. The story opens with an explosion, and you've arrived on the scene as a lead detective.
This is a delicate situation. Let the professionals handle it. We wouldn't want anyone to get hurt, now would we?
Why would you say that?
Listen carefully, detective. This is no place for a rookie cop. If you know what's good for you, then turn back now before someone gets hurt.
Janice and all the characters in Origins are powered by in-world AI, or maybe I should say their minds are. It's the first time an ensemble cast of AI characters has been orchestrated in this way.
So I don't go until the end, guys, but you can see how this is changing, how like text and vocals can be implemented on some immersive experience like gaming, and how you can empower some character like this. So I continue quickly. Just as you can see, yes, ChatGPT also is really changing the game and impacting all the journalism, all the long writing stuff. It's really changing. It's changing also the way how we create, how we code, how we design, and we should take that into account. You will have a lot of tutorials, and I will talk about that in a few seconds. And ChatGPT now, as you probably know, is able to interact with the web. And the chatbots, that was a trend like 5 years ago, are back, but this time they are really smart. And already brands are like Kayak or Expedia are using and leveraging ChatGPT and to allow you to organize your travel, your holidays, whatever you want. So please, guys, take that into account. We should be an agency that work also and find a creative way to interact with our brand, because here the possibilities with GPT and especially with GPT-4 are just amazing. And I can say to you, this is changing the way how we can interact in the future. And then just to make a kind of small fresh stuff, when you combine all the different generative AI together, you can do a lot of things. Some people already knows, but I change this story every time that are there and attend. I like to show how we can use generative voice, generative music, to create something totally new. For example, here I ask ChatGPT to create a lyrics about Ogilvy. I recreate with generative video Snoop Dogg and Kendrick Lamar, and I use another generative AI to make the music and to make the editing. So here I have created in 2 hours, I just said 2 hours, not more, music videos that I can change the lyrics. This is why I say, guys, every time you see this, and every time I do my presentation, I can change the lyrics and the edit. And now I can share with you a new version of that, which is Snoop Dogg and Kendrick Lamar.
We do the right thing, that's what we bring. Ogilvy's been creating 475 years. We've got the swing, cultural changing on the drain. We never rest, our legacy is rich, we're the best.
The best work of our lives, we give it all for collaborations are key. We stand tall together, we work side by side. Oh, I just take flight, nothing no hard. People expect more, we see the bar. Brands need to go beyond, that's who we are. Impact over incrementalists, we are. We create unreasonable impact, we never lied. Our creativity has no borders or lines. Geographies and capabilities combined, the distant lines get more satisfaction. New partners come in and become a bigger attraction.
UWP, key. Policy change, we support a better world. Sustainability and equity, it's where we're home. Borderless creativity, we never stop. All winning work is what we deliver, clients happy. It's a no-brainer, the most creative network in the world. Ogilvy's name repeatedly unfurled.
So this is just a small example. Again, this is really about 2 hours of work, and you can imagine where I just give you a lot of possibilities we have, how we can go so crazy with that. So just you guys, in 2 minutes, I just want to give you the power to work. I mean, you need to be inspired every day. So I give you weapons. I give you inspiration. This is 3 URL you need to note. Take the picture of that. Futurepedia give you all the stuff that are coming every day. You have like 100 generative artificial intelligence services. You have this guy, he's 23 years old, and this guy, follow him on YouTube, is amazing. Every day he will inspire you with new technologies coming and new possibilities. You have this guy, Olivio Sarikas. This guy is a master on visual generative artificial intelligence. And yes, you will find a lot of tutorials, and he will help you to be a master on that. So first thing. Second thing, guys, yes, you can be a little bit a geek. Go on replicate.com. You will access to the latest models, to the latest cutting edge generative AI stuff, but in a more, I will say, user-friendly way. It's not rocket science. You need to be a little bit geek to use that, but honestly, it's easy to access. And go also when you are on Discord, go on the announcement part and read what OpenAI is saying, read what Stable Diffusion is saying or Midjourney, and you will be at the latest information. And for sure, guys, this is a map of all the kind existing today, but it changed. Practice everyday generative AI. I think it's like gaming. You need to master that. I mean, great work that came from gaming come from creative people that used to play with game. So you don't need to rely on somebody saying, oh, I have maybe an idea with generative AI, maybe we can do it. No, play with that, master that a little bit, and you will discover that a lot of ideas that will come naturally. So you can prototype fastly with your own idea thanks to generative AI. You don't need to have, I will say, for 80% of the case, production team, because the production team is generative AI. And the fact is, generative AI is done to be simple, not rocket science. It's not complicated when you use it. And then you have also something important. Don't try to be a master on one category, because all the things you learn will probably disappear in 1 month or 2 months. I remember people saying, yes, I'm a master on prompting. I do a lot of crazy prompt. And to be honest, since Midjourney V5, a prompt now is just a small line. And with a small line, you can have amazing image. So please, this is important. And last but not least, and I will give to Deacon the last word, guys, generative AI allow you to be empowered, and I believe 80% of the job will be on your side. From Midjourney to Firefly to DALL-E to Gen 1 to ChatGPT, a lot of things need to be empowerment. On the right side, 20%, yes, should be cutting edge model, specific development, hacking, combination with other texts. And this is why Deacon and Reality is there. And I let you make the final word, my friend.
Thanks, David. That's brilliant. We're over time, so I'm just going to be really quick. This whole thing is democratized. The whole thing that David's talked about is not necessarily pushing everything through reality, as this slide talks about, as Dev talked about, empowering the entrepreneurs in our business to make sure that we actually all get a chance to exercise this. What I would say is that if you do need additional help and support, and you are looking for a particular idea or a particular sport within AI or outside of it, if we'll send this deck around afterwards, but there is a process by which you can get support from Reality. So there is a QR code here, a simple form to fill in that will push it into the Reality kind of to flow, and we'll be in touch with you guys to kind of to help. There's lots of regional support from Reality across the network and different innovators and technologists able to support. So please be in touch with us. And hopefully today's been a really inspirational session. Thanks, David. I guess back to you guys in New York.
Thank you so much. I kind of am speechless every time we go through an in-depth sort of, session on one of our capabilities. But the two of you, I don't know what to say other than you're incredibly inspiring. But the one lesson I took away that's really important here is We've got to play with these tools. We're not here just to listen to what Dickens and David are saying. We have to play. David, thank you so much for encouraging that. And it doesn't matter whether you're an art director, copywriter, but we should all be playing, right? I see an account director in front of me. Marina, you should be playing. We should all be playing with these tools because this is the future. This is not, something that's of any one department. The other thing I just want to say, holy fucking shit, Ogilvy is amazing. Right? Like, just incredible. I don't know what to say. I just want to say I'm so proud that the two of you are here, and let's make amazing work. Let's do it in ways that have never been done before. And I will see you guys next month. Bye.